American service members are dying in the Strait of Hormuz. Gas prices are at wartime highs, and the sons of the presidents of the United States are cashing in on all of it in real time, in plain sight, with Pentagon contracts, drone company investments, and a billion-dollar crypto empire that runs through the same exchange that helped Iran evade the sanctions the United States imposed on it. This is no longer a story that requires investigative journalism to uncover. It is happening openly, documented in regulatory filings, congressional letters, and financial disclosures. And it has gotten so obvious that even some of the most prominent voices inside the MAGA movement are now saying out loud what critics have been saying for months. This is corruption, and it is de-ranking the most loyal supporters in ways that nothing else has managed to do. Let's start with the drone deal because it is the clearest and most recent example of what is happening, and it is the one that prompted a formal congressional investigation request this week. Just over a week after the United States went to war with Iran, a Florida-based drone company called Powerus announced that Eric Trump and Don Jr. would be investing in the company and also helping to take it public through a reverse merger with another Trump-affiliated company called Arrayas Greenway, whose main business was operating golf country clubs. The timing is critical. Iran launched the war by deploying thousands of attack drones against neighboring countries. Interceptor drones, the kind Powerus makes, immediately became one of the most urgently needed weapons systems in the entire conflict. The Trump administration then awarded a lucrative Defense Department contract to Powerus just weeks after Eric and Don Jr. chose to invest in it. The sequence is not subtle. The president's sons invested in an interceptor drone company days into a war that created massive demand for interceptor drones. The Pentagon then gave that company a federal contract. The Trump administration also awarded a $24 million contract to a robotics company that employs Eric Trump as chief strategy advisor. Representative Robert Garcia, the ranking Democrat on the House Oversight Committee, sent a formal letter to the Department of Defense Inspector General on May 8th requesting an investigation into what he describes as the heightened risk of corruption and grift associated with these contracts. His letter stated directly that Trump's war in the Middle East is driving up gas and grocery costs for the public while generating profits for his son's new business ventures, and that the administration has repeatedly awarded lucrative DoD contracts to companies that became affiliated with the president's sons. Eric and Don Jr. collectively hold roughly 12% of a company called Dominari Holdings, which in turn owns 90% of an investment firm called American Ventures. That firm, based near the brothers' golf course in Florida, has spun up approximately 22 investment vehicles since last summer. Regulatory filings through early April showed the firm managing $1.04 billion spread among 21 vehicles, with investments ranging from a crypto lender registered in Bermuda to a waxing salon chain in Florida to a nuclear startup. Representative Jamie Raskin, the ranking Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee, called the family's commercial activity emblematic of a Trump family self-enrichment plan built on pay-to-play deals and corrupt foreign interests. The cryptocurrency dimension of this story is where the conflicts of interest become almost impossible to untangle. President Trump and his sons have approximately $1 billion tied to a crypto venture called World Liberty Financial, which was founded by the Trumps alongside Steve Witkoff, who was now Trump's special envoy for negotiations with Iran. That detail alone should stop every American in their tracks. The man negotiating on behalf of the United States with the country the United States is at war with co-founded a billion-dollar crypto business with the president and his family. Witkoff's stake in World Liberty Financial was sold to his sons in January 2026, just before the Iran war began, but the business relationship between the Witkoff and Trump families remains deeply entangled. World Liberty Financial's primary stablecoin, called USD1, is held and distributed largely through Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. Binance pleaded guilty in 2023 to sanctions and money laundering violations tied largely to Iran. entities tied to Iran received more than $1 billion through Binance from March 2024 through August 2025, according to the company's own compliance team, all while Binance was operating under a court-ordered DOJ compliance monitor as part of its 2023 plea deal. Binance later fired at least 5 of the investigators who internally flagged those transactions. The administration's response to all of this has been to dismantle the enforcement mechanisms that would normally address it. The Trump administration systematically dismantled enforcement by pardoning Binance's founder, dismissing an SEC lawsuit against the company, and issuing a directive to stop prosecuting crypto platforms. The Justice Department's Public Integrity Section, created after Watergate specifically to prosecute corrupt officials, was reduced from 36 lawyers to 2 and stripped of authority to file new cases. The administration canceled 159 federal enforcement actions against 166 companies, more than 30 of which donated to Trump's inauguration or White House ballroom. The Reuters news agency cited 3 anonymous officials who reported that the SEC's top enforcement official resigned after agency leaders blocked her from aggressively pursuing cases touching Trump's circle. Between August 2025 and January 2026, Trump profited to the tune of $3.02 billion from crypto, a sum that tripled his net worth while serving as president. It started just before his inauguration, when he released his $TRUMP meme coin. MAGA supporters rushed to buy the coin, which quickly shot up to a $30 billion valuation and peaked at $45 per token before plummeting to under $2.50. The people who lost money on the meme coin were not hedge funds or institutional investors. They were ordinary Trump supporters who believed in the product because the President of the United States put his name on it. As of January 2026, the House Oversight Committee's Democratic analysis found that Trump's pay-to-play schemes had contributed to an estimated $2.25 billion in realized profits from foreign payments, corrupt oligarchs, and others. That total rises to as much as $9.7 billion when the value of Trump's digital assets is factored in, with at least $436 million coming from foreign interests. And then there are the suspicious trading patterns around the war itself. On one Monday during the conflict, $580 million in oil futures flooded the market in a sudden spike, with no public news to explain it, roughly 16 minutes before Trump announced a pause in strikes on Iranian power plants. On the Friday before the war began, an unusual surge of more than 150 Polymarket accounts placed hundreds of bets predicting a United States military strike on Iran. The Department of Justice did open an investigation into potential insider trading related to oil price movements, citing at least 4 instances where traders made over $2.6 billion betting that oil prices would fall moments before they actually did. That investigation is ongoing. Breaking news: Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law and one of his Iran envoys, is also seeking to raise billions of dollars for his private equity fund from Persian Gulf governments that are directly entangled in the Iran war. The same governments whose cooperation the United States needs to end the conflict, to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and to stabilize oil prices for American families are simultaneously being solicited for investment capital by the president's son-in-law. What makes this moment different from previous corruption controversies is not just the scale, though the scale is staggering. It is the fact that the corruption is now visible enough that it is cracking the political coalition that enabled it. Mike Cernovich, one of the most popular MAGA influencers on X, railed against alleged insider trading and declared this week that the corruption within the Trump administration has demoralized me in a way my enemies never could. Ann Coulter, one of Trump's earliest and most prominent media supporters, admitted publicly that she thinks this is the most corrupt presidency in United States history, with the money they are raking in with the NFTs and the meme coins. She said it is so blatant, it is right in front of our eyes. The distinction Coulter drew, saying she did not care as long as the administration delivered on immigration, is itself a remarkable statement. It is an acknowledgement that the corruption is real, combined with the decision to accept it for transactional reasons. That bargain is becoming harder to maintain as the Iran war drags on. Gas stays at $4.56 per gallon, 13 service members are dead, and the president's sons are announcing new Pentagon-contracted drone investments days into a war that creates demand for exactly those drones. Political analyst Mona Charen argued in a column this week that the key conditions for public tolerance of corruption have historically been a healthy economy and a belief that the corruption stories are just partisan attacks. The economy is not healthy by the measure that most Americans use, which is what things cost, and the corruption stories are no longer partisan attacks. They are regulatory filings, defense contract announcements, financial disclosures, and congressional letters that describe the same pattern from multiple independent directions. The deeper issue here is structural. The Trump family came into this second term having learned from the first. In the first term, Trump restricted his company from making international deals, and his net worth actually declined while he was in office. This time, as multiple analysts have noted, there are no such restrictions. Eric and Don Jr. are free to invest in whatever they choose. The president can pardon whoever he wants. The enforcement agencies that would normally scrutinize these arrangements have been reduced, redirected, or captured, and the political party that controls Congress has shown no appetite for oversight. What has been built is not just a set of conflicts of interest, it is an architecture of impunity, where the tools that would normally constrain presidential self-enrichment have been systematically disabled, leaving the public with no recourse except the ballot box and the November midterms that are now less than 6 months away. The American public has an uncanny ability to distinguish over time between partisan attacks and genuine corruption. The current situation has crossed into territory where even the most committed MAGA voices are acknowledging what they see. That acknowledgement does not yet translate to political consequences because the structures of Republican loyalty and the fear of primary challengers keep most elected officials silent. But the voters who fill up their gas tanks at $4.56 per gallon, who watch oil futures spike 16 minutes before presidential announcements, who see the president's sons announce drone company investments days into a war that creates demand for exactly those drones, are forming their own conclusions. And every day the war continues, every day the prices stay high, and every day a new regulatory filing documents another Trump family business arrangement, those conclusions are getting harder to dismiss.